this up. We got something a little bit different. Oh yeah, by the way, giveaway will be announced Saturday. I'm gonna comment to you. We can shoot between emails, and if you win, you have to allow me to, screenshot so people think I'm not scamming. But back to this video. This is another older reaction. We got Football Paulista 24 made this. This is how good was Ronaldo Fenomeno before the injury. This is like a football soccer history lesson. So without further ado, let's get into it.
November 21st, 1999. Sounds like an ordinary day, right? Sadly, this date was anything but ordinary. On November 21st, 1999, one of the greatest tragedies in football history occurred. The generational talent that was Ronaldo Fenomeno suffered a terrible knee injury on this day, and it would be the catalyst for many recurring injuries to the great Brazilian. November 21, 1999 marked the beginning of a downward spiral of what could have been the greatest footballer of all time. The footballing world was robbed of a chance to see the greatest talent that we had ever seen as a teenager grow and become unstoppable. Let's take a look at Ronaldo Fenomeno's career and find out just how formidable of a player he was. It's important for us to put into perspective just how great he had been until the injury. Ronaldo moved to Europe at the age of 17 to play for the Dutch Giants PSV.
If you're not gonna get hurt,
even as a teenager, he was an insane footballer that looked like he was playing against younger children, even though he was oftentimes the youngest player on the pitch. And remember, back in the 90s, the Dutch league was much stronger than what it is now. And Ronaldo still managed to score 30 league goals in his first season with PSV. And despite moving to a new continent as a teenager, Ronaldo was showcasing the traits that he was known for. His electrifying pace, the mesmerizing stepovers, and the strength he displayed battling against older men.
I love his
2 years
style,
that Ronaldo spent in Holland, he scored
clean.
54 goals in 58 games.
My favorite style to watch
staggering numbers for a teenager.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Barcelona were in love with the teenage phenomenon and decided to spend a world record fee on the teenager, $19.5 million. His time at Barcelona was short-lived, as he only stayed for 1 year. But in that 1 year, he truly announced himself as a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Ronaldo scored 47 goals in 49 games during his time at Barcelona, and he produced several moments of brilliance that had footballing minds all over the world in awe, including the special one Jose Mourinho. Ronaldo's brilliance was so great that he often scored goals by rounding the keeper and scoring a tap. It really seemed like he was playing in a video game.
That's what I said.
At the end of the season, despite being only 20 years old,
I didn't see that in other
Ronaldo Fenomeno was crowned the youngest player ever to win FIFA World Player of the Year. And despite having a legendary season at Barcelona, the club struggled to re-sign him, and he moved to Inter Milan again for a world record fee of $27 million. Ronaldo was as dominant as ever in his first 2 seasons, as he adapted well to the life in Italy. He scored 25 goals in his first season in Italy, which was considered the toughest league to score goals in. And while doing so, he collected his second FIFA World Player of the Year and his first Ballon d'Or. Ronaldo was on top of the world during the 1998 World Cup,
Messi got
as he led Brazil to the final to play against Zinedine Zidane and France. But maybe as a sign of things to come, Ronaldo was suffering from illness for the final, and his Brazil team got destroyed by France. But despite the end result, Ronaldo won Player of the Tournament and was unanimously considered the best player in the world entering the 1999 season with Inter. And entering the 1999 season, Ronaldo and Inter had high hopes, but that hope was snatched from them in heartbreaking fashion on November 21st, 1999. Inter were playing Lecce in the league, and Ronaldo felt a buckle in his knee, and he had ruptured a tendon in his knee that would require surgery. After 6 long months, the phenomenon was back on the pitch to play after the rough injury. And in the first leg of the Coppa Italia final against Lazio, just 6 minutes into his comeback, Ronaldo once again suffered a major injury in which he completely ruptured both of his kneecap tendons. And Ronaldo would never be the same player after that fateful injury. Before his injury, Ronaldo had scored 42 goals in 58 Serie A games which was tremendous considering how strong
Bro,
Serie A was with their defensive prowess. But after his injury, he scored just 17 goals in the following 41 games. A respectable number, but clearly not the same level that he had once produced. But despite the terrible injuries, the crowning achievement of Ronaldo's career will undoubtedly be his World Cup that he captured in 2002. Having just come back from injury, Ronaldo showed glimpses of the player that dazzled the world just a few years earlier. Ronaldo redeemed himself from the disaster in the 1998 World Cup final by dominating Germany in the final and scoring 2 goals. Ronaldo scored 8 goals in the tournament, and most importantly, he helped the Brazil team that barely qualified for the tournament win the entire thing. Man. He was the difference maker when his team needed him the most, and they struggled without him in the qualifying rounds. And he made a huge difference for them while he was in the tournament. And after Ronaldo's dominant display in the 2002 World Cup, he moved to Real Madrid for 46 million euros. His time at Madrid was up and down, but it never reached the peaks that he had hit before his injury. He did score 23 league goals in his first season for Madrid, and he also had one of his most memorable hat tricks with his performance against United in the 2003 Champions League. The performance was so great that the crowd at Old Trafford gave him a standing ovation. Ronaldo, however, couldn't win the Champions League with Madrid, and after his time there, he moved to AC Milan, where the end of his career was once again.
He's still a GOAT, man.
Ronaldo's career was sadly lessened by the severe injuries he suffered when he was at Inter. But what if he had not got hurt? We would have a legitimate argument that we missed out on watching the greatest footballer to ever play the game. Ronaldo was already doing what most great players do in their prime, except he was only a teenager. His one season at Barcelona is remembered by football minds all over the world. Most could not believe what they were seeing at a young age. Bobby Robson, Jose Mourinho, Paolo Maldini, Gianluigi Buffon, Zinedine Zidane, and countless other players claimed that Ronaldo was the best player that they had seen play. And it's not difficult to see why. His performances before his injury were alien to us humans. His physical play and skills were top class. He certainly would have had immeasurable statistics and would have probably scored well over 500 career goals if he had not got hurt. He also might have won another World Cup in 2006 had he had been in top form like he was earlier on in his career. The only aspect of Ronaldo Fenomeno's game that leaves him off many people's top 5 greatest players ever list is his consistency. We only got to see him play at full gear for a handful of seasons while he was a teenager, and those few seasons left us hungry for more. Sadly, our hunger was never satisfied, but one thing we do know is that Ronaldo Fenomeno might have been the greatest force to ever play at one time. Many were shown Ronaldo, Maradona, and Pelé. It's hard to argue against those people considering what we saw early on in his career.
Maradona, I haven't heard Pelé.
It's a shame that we did not get to witness this staggering greatness and what could have been had he stayed healthy. But despite his injuries, football fans across the world got to get a glimpse of the phenomenon that was Ronaldo when he played for PSV, Barcelona, and Inter before his injury. And despite getting injured and not being the same physical specimen that he once was, he still managed to win a World Cup after his horrific knee injuries.
Still goated.
But we can only wonder, what
maybe not the best of all time
had the football gods kept him healthy.
Like, you're in the category.
Thank you again for your support, guys. Hit the bell and subscribe.
Alright, that's the end of the video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. It's pretty interesting, man. But they gave me some 2 names. I need to see those other players, see what they're like, see what they're about. Oh yeah, giveaway Saturday, like I said. Yeah, we're out.